Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, man hospitalized after crashing into house in Dover. A road in Dover was closed Sunday afternoon after a pickup truck crashed into part of a home, according to Dover police. Captain Bill said 58-year-old Charles Dawes of Dover was driving east on Toland Road in a 2017 Dodge 25,000 pickup truck. He left the roadway, hit a utility pole, and crashed into a garage of a home. Bill said the primary investigation showed Dawes suffered a medical event which led to the collision. Dawes was taken by ambulance to Wentworth Douglas Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Four Stockton High School students killed in crash, 15 in hospital. Let's take a listen to the video from WCVB Boston.
At Mahoney's, we understand the importance of crafting beautiful outdoor spaces. This spring, let us help bring beauty into your home and garden.
Other side of this building right now, students are coming together. They are grieving right now this morning, and those students just identified by the DA moments ago as Nick Joyce, 16 years old, Eric Sabla, David Bell, and Christopher Desir, all 17-year-old students, and the administration will speak with us shortly. Now, a fifth boy is fighting for his life. As you mentioned, he was the driver of this car. He is at Boston Medical Center. It was just after 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon on a rain-slick stretch of Route 106 in East Bridgewater at the intersection of Laurel Street when one car smashed into a tree. And while it's too early to say for sure if speed was a factor, authorities are sending a message.
This is a tragic situation, and we hope that any and all young drivers that may be out there for any reasons at this time of the year, this festive time of the year, that everybody is careful and goes slow, and remember that their parents love them, and when they tell them to please go slow, to do that.
A woman who lives at the house right next to the crash did CPR on the victims before police arrived. At this point, police have not said whether these five boys were wearing their seatbelts, if another car may have somehow contributed to the crash. Now, at noon, grief counselors will be here at the high school to speak with students and any faculty members as well that might need some help. And at 11 o'clock this morning, we'll be hearing from the superintendent of schools. She will address the media. We're live here in Stoughton. Josh Brogan, your WCVB News Center 5.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Heart disease stroke survivors honored at Heart Walk. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8, Kathleen Jordan.
Today's modern past phrase of the day is, what's that noise?
Well, $415,000, that is the number that they are aiming for at the American Heart Association. They're trying to raise that much money as they continue their fight against heart disease and stroke. Happening in Portland today is their annual Heart Walk. This honors the survivors in their battle against heart disease. WMTW News 8's Tyler Carteret is live from the back cove this morning. He's been there all morning giving us the details. Good morning to you, Tyler.
Good morning, Kathleen, and good morning to everybody who's waking up with us this morning. Starting to see some activity here. You can hear them checking the sound system behind me. The volunteers out getting the tables and everything set up. Joined now by Eric Bennett. He is going to be speaking here at the Heart Walk later on today. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming by. And I know this is an event and definitely a situation that really hits close to home for you personally.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And what is a little bit of your story, if you wouldn't mind just sharing it with us this morning?
My father suffered a heart attack when I was 12 years old. He didn't survive. When I got a little older as an adult, I started taking precautions because I was afraid I was going to suffer the same fate. Ultimately, I did. Fortunately, it happened when I was home. I was having lunch with my family, and I had just finished lunch. I literally was getting up to wash up, said I'm gonna go mow the lawn now, and immediately it just hit me. I got up, went into my bedroom, laid down for a minute, kind of wondering what was going on. The sense of dread was just overcoming, and I ended up going back into the kitchen, said to my wife Chrissy, I'm having massive chest pains. Without turning around, she asked me if it was indigestion because I had just finished lunch. And I said no. Ended up calling 911. Response time was less than 2 minutes. I was at the hospital in less than a half an hour with a blood pressure of 260 over 220. Wasn't even medically registering a heart attack at that point. They went into a mode of doing everything they could to prevent a stroke. My heart rate was elevated. Ultimately, what had happened, I was having a heart attack. The heart attack lasted 25 hours. They have to bring down your blood pressure and your heart rate before they can actually go in and stop it. Ultimately, they found the blockage. Cath went in, removed the blockage, inserted a stent, and here I am. So
an incredible story of the fact that it really can happen anywhere, anytime, to anybody.
Absolutely.
And in your particular case, you know, you had a little bit of awareness about this even going into that, and still one of those situations where it just happens so quickly. Pretty incredible story, and Eric is going to be speaking here more about that later on this morning to kick things off. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time to talk with us on the show this morning. We'll be hearing more from him again later on today. This whole thing getting underway. Registration at 8:30, and then we'll have some remarks from Eric and others leading up to the walk at 9:30, approaching that goal of $415,000 for today's event. We'll send things back to you in studio, Kathleen.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we will try to get information how much they raised today at the event. President Trump orders DOJ to look into whether his campaign was infiltrated. President Trump said in a tweet Sunday that he is ordering the Department of Justice to look into whether his 2016 presidential campaign was improperly infiltrated or surveilled for political purposes. And here is what he said in the tweet. I hereby demand and will do so officially tomorrow that the Department of Justice look into whether or not the FBI/DOJ infiltrated or surveilled the Trump campaign for political purposes, and if any such demands or requests were made by people within the Obama administration. The president said he would make the order official on Monday, but offered no further details about what form he would expect such as inquire to take. And That does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday evening, and I'll see you back here for a news report later on this evening. And I'll see you for Good Evening New Hampshire at 6:30 p.m. Good night, everyone. Bye.